I'm ready to start this video. We gotta start this video. Hey guys, it's Nija. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about heat training your hair and what it is, and maybe you will find it interesting and maybe you'll want to implement it into your hair care regimen. So heat training your hair is something that I've been doing for a very long time. I don't know if you guys have watched my previous videos, but I told you guys I was relaxed at one point in my life. When I transitioned from relaxed to natural hair, I found heat training, and this is the way that I have been able to manage my natural hair while still maintaining the hairstyle that I love. Okay, so I would say heat training is for you if you want natural hair but you don't necessarily care for the texture. So it's definitely okay to say that you want your hair to be natural, you just don't want to wear it in its natural style. That's fine, that's completely fine. Natural hair Nazis do not come at anybody for wanting natural hair that they can straighten. That's not a big deal. So you guys may be wondering, what even is heat training? I have no clue what that is. So heat training your hair is when you use some type of heat tool or heat product to manipulate your hair. So this could be a flat iron, this could be a blow dryer, this could be hot rollers, it can be a hot comb, literally any type of heat that you would use in your hair to manipulate your hair. Michi. My dog hates me. Any type of heat that you would use in your hair to manipulate your hair, that is what you would use to heat train your hair. So what is heat training? Heat training is the process of manipulating your hair over time to make your hair more manageable. And it's a long-term process. It can be as long or as short as you want it to. You can use as much or as little heat as you want to, but essentially you are using the heat to help to make your hair more manageable. So if you have really coarse or curly hair, if you heat train your hair, over time this will loosen up the texture, making it more manageable and easier for you to take care of. The reason why I started heat training my hair is because I typically like to wear my hair in straighter styles like this today. I like to wear my hair in straighter styles, and I cannot achieve this style with my natural hair. So I use heat on my hair, one, to loosen up the texture of my natural hair without using chemicals, and two, to achieve the hairstyle that I like, this nice, sleek, wavy look. So there are different reasons why people will heat tame their hair. One benefit of heat taming your hair is manageability. So because your hair is not as coarse and easier to get through, you will in turn have more manageable hair, easier to manage hair. Two, you can experience less breakage. Now this is only if you're doing it correctly, and I will show you guys how you would heat tame your hair in just a little bit. But two, it would stop breakage, and the way that it stops breakage is if your hair is easier to manage, that means you're spending less time ripping through your hair with a comb, you're spending less time ripping through your hair with a brush. You would stop or reduce your breakage because your hair is now easier for you to do. Number three, it helps to stop the little fairy knots you get at the end of your hair. And fairy knots are those single strand knots that you get, that once you get it, there's basically no way to untangle your hair. You're just gonna have to cut that strand. But when your hair is straighter in texture, you don't get those fairy knots as much. So I want to explain to you guys the difference between heat training your hair and relaxing your hair. So relaxing your hair, you would use chemicals to relax your hair, and the chemicals basically break down the molecular compound of your hair. Is there an easier way we can explain this? A relaxer basically just breaks down your hair. In my head, every time I would use a relaxer in my head, I get the mental picture of my hair melting. So essentially that's what it is. It's melting down the texture of your hair to make it more fine, and in some cases straight. So this is why I do not recommend to relax your hair. So heat training, on the other hand, is when you use heat to help to straighten and make your hair more manageable over time. So you have to create a regimen to heat train your hair. So for me, I like to use or heat train my hair once a week. So I flat iron my hair once a week, or I will blow dry my hair once a week. This is completely depending on your hair type. So if you have finer hair and you know that flat ironing your hair once a week will completely destroy your hair, then you can't do it this way. So heat training, you have to actually listen to what your hair needs. If your hair is super coarse, maybe you want to make your regimen a little bit more frequent, like once a week, or you can make your hair regimen once every 2 weeks, blow dry once a week, blow dry twice a week. Whatever your hair needs, that's what you would do. Now I want to get into how to heat train your hair properly. The number one reason why a lot of people are unsuccessful heat training their hair is because their hair is dry. There's no moisture. So your hair absolutely needs to retain that moisture so that the heat is not damaging to your hair. So the difference between heat training and heat damage, heat training is controlled damage. So yes, whatever you do to your hair that it's not its natural state is obviously going to damage it. So obviously adding heat to your hair is potentially damaging. Brushing your hair too often is potentially damaging. Using the wrong products is potentially damaging. So what you want to do when you're heat training your hair is minimize the damage by upping up your moisture. Yeah, heat training versus heat damage. Heat damage is you're not adding that moisture back into your hair, and that's why your hair is breaking off. So heat damage definitely will cause breakage, whereas heat training does not have to be damaging if you're doing the proper measures to keep your hair healthy. So over time, your hair is actually going to be loosening up, and it is possible to heat train and then to stop. So you don't have to keep going. Like once you achieve those goals, you can stop. But keep in mind, just like as relaxed hair, as your new growth comes through, you're gonna have to heat tame it to make it match the rest of your hair texture. This is something really important that I wanted to mention. When should you stop heat training? So you should stop heat training if you're noticing breakage in your hair, if you're noticing your hair is getting dry and brittle. You should stop heat training if you're noticing it's not giving you the results that you want. So you started to flat iron your hair and now it's like having a negative effect on your hair, like I said, breaking off, feeling rough, anything like that. That's when you want to stop heat training or slow down heat training. So if you're heat training once a week and you're starting to notice maybe your hair is getting rough, maybe it's starting to smell burnt, maybe you should go to once every 2 weeks, or maybe you should do once a month. It just depends on what your hair needs. But this is very important. If your hair starts to break off, definitely stop heat training or lessen the amount of heat and the amount of frequency that you're doing it. Alright, you guys, that is the end of my video. I hope you guys learned how to heat train your hair, and I hope that this was very informative. So if you have any questions, definitely leave them down below. And that is all I have to say. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!